It is cool. It is cool. For sure. Oh.
Oh, tease him. Tease him. There he is.
Wait, what is happening? What is happening? I'm trying to make it all cool. I mean, that was pretty cool.
Slide up in my haps.
That was pretty cool. Everyone, hello. Man, we are loving this Haps platform. It's we're still learning it, obviously, as you can tell here, but I mean, starting with a countdown, come on. Starting with the countdown's pretty righteous.
Gotta love it. That's right. You sit there, you'll wait, enjoy the elevator music.
Oh man, it's classy. Dude, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. What's today? Tuesday or Wednesday?
Today's Wednesday, the 17th, St. Patrick's Day.
Right, St. Patty's Day, the 17th. This is a big day. You feel energy today?
It's Q Day. Right, yeah, I do. It's Q Day in March, and it's 6 months exactly to my birthday. So it's my half birthday today, which is also kind of cool.
Happy half birthday.
Let's go. Let's get after it.
Big lucky day.
It is. It's a great day. It's a great day.
About that. Let's spread luck. See if anything lucky happens for everyone.
That's right. Like Trump always says, I wish him luck. I wish him luck.
I wish him luck.
Man, so I'm excited to announce we got a class coming up on March 27th that we're going to be leading, and I'm excited about it. You want to talk through what it is and what we're teaching on?
Yeah. So Saturday, the 27th, we're going to do a 3-hour intensive class together, Lucas and I. And this is all based on sovereignty, right? Yep. So we're going to talk about what is sovereignty, how do we give away our sovereignty, and how do we reclaim our sovereignty?
Yes.
Because right now the way we're looking around, a lot of people are asking questions. A lot of people want that freedom, but are scared because they never took that step yet.
Yep.
And once you take that first step, it gets much easier. So how do we get over the hump? How do we get to that hump? How do we feel the vibration of what sovereignty feels like and how we can trust ourselves to stand in that power?
And, before 2020, for sure, that word was not even in my nomenclature. Like, I would not say, that was not something that I had in my vernacular that I would say, although it's what I've always sought after. It's what my soul always yearned for, that I would, when I lead men's retreats, and I talked about this, I think the other day, I ask people, and even when I do branding with companies, I ask all the executives the same question. What would you crawl bloody knuckled over a broken field of glass to accomplish? What would you give everything viscerally for? And for me, the answer is sovereignty. And a lot of
years ago, would you have answered that question with that answer?
I would have said freedom.
Right. But But in a wishy-washy way, right?
Yeah, it would have been like I was still like free, but what I was really saying is free to be in my fullness, free to fully be me, not escaping something, but being able to stand in front of something and not leave my body, being able to stand in the face of whoever, whenever, wherever, discussing whatever, and not losing any sense of my own personal power.
Unapologetically.
That's right.
And it's interesting that word, because, say with me, it's become strong recently. Even the word nomenclature wasn't in my nomenclature. But why don't we learn more about sovereignty? Like, why don't they teach us about that's who we are? That's our birthright. Sovereignty is our birthright.
That's right.
And it gets stripped from us, and it gets stripped kind of from our parents because it was stripped from them.
Yep.
So once we pull back from the blame and go, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how it happened. Doesn't matter when it happened, why it happened. What matters is when you understand it, you now are in control. You have the responsibility to create your own sovereignty, come back into your body and live unapologetically you.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you start to see that God fills in the cracks. The universe fills in the pieces around you.
Yep.
But not until you take that step, right? If you keep worshiping other human beings that are telling you whatever they want to tell you,
Yeah.
and you just listen and you worship money and you think you have to do X, Y, and Z in order to be happy, you're putting the cart before the horse.
Yeah.
So at some point, I mean, we've had a speeding train going one direction, tons of momentum.
Yep.
You're not just going to flip and go, "Oh, I'm sovereign now,"
Yeah.
and nobody can measure. You have to first stop that speeding train. You
That's
have
right.
to jam the brakes, and doing the inner work is hitting the brakes.
Yep.
Then when you finally get that train to a stop, it's time to turn it back and get it into going in the right direction. And what the right direction means, what's right for you. It's different for everybody, but in the direction of your sovereignty. And
Yep.
once you build that momentum, that's when you want to build the momentum with the train. And then it's a speeding train into heaven on earth.
That's right. Here's how I describe it. You have these massive bulls in Spain that they do the bullfighting and the running of the bulls. These massive, violent, powerful animals that when angry can impale a full-grown man with just the swipe of its head and put a horn right through a body. I mean, it's incredibly powerful. But it doesn't matter how powerful, how big, how strong, or how angry those bulls are. The minute you put your finger into the ring of that bull, that's why they keep the rings in their nose. The minute you put your finger in that bull, doesn't matter how angry, will submit to whoever's finger is in that ring. And you can bring that bull, even in its pure anger, straight to its knee because it's the most sensitive area of the bull. And sovereignty is learning, first of all, that until we reclaim our sovereignty, each and every human being on this planet has a ring in their nose. Second, to acknowledging it and understanding that we have these rings in the sensitive areas is to face it and remove the ring. But that takes a lot of courage because it's placed in the most sensitive area. Once that ring is removed, then the next time that bull is angry, the next time that bull is ready to go, no one's coming by that bull to stick a finger in that bull's face because that bull is completely sovereign at that point. And that is the analogy that I would love everyone to keep in mind, because it doesn't matter how big you are, smart you are, tough you are, wealthy you are, strong you are, whatever you think you're adding to yourself to be more of. If you are triggered emotionally and cannot speak about anything, anywhere, with anyone at any time without getting angry, without losing your own power, without people pleasing, or without trying to control, you have a ring in your nose. And this class that we are teaching on the 27th is to teach exactly how not only to remove the ring, but to encourage and help and be the permission for other people to remove their rings as well. And this is the change that we want to see in the world. And this is what I call living that Mahatma Gandhi life.
Yeah. It's beautiful. And it doesn't, but see what they show us is like you're out in the woods or up in a mountain and you're isolated and you're just meditating all day.
Right.
That's one version of it, but you can live that right now. You can live that in the middle of a city.
Right.
You know, I'm still in Los Angeles, guys. I'm surrounded by nonsense. I feel it. I feel it in my body. And I have to do the work to make sure I protect my energy and all that.
Yep.
But guys, I go to the park 3 times a day with my son. We have bare feet in the grass. Mm-hmm. I've seen multiple times where the police come to the park and there's a little skate ramp. They tell all the skaters, they tell everybody there, put your mask on, put your mask on, put your mask on. And then they've looked at me and just smiled. And you know why? Those people were wearing the ring on their nose.
Yeah.
It wasn't a ring in their nose. It was a mask around their ears that hanging on the chin.
Yeah.
So they were signaling to the police officers, I am to be dominated. Please tell me what to do. And they would just say, pull your mask up. And they go, okay. They look at me and they smile. This is within 10 feet of like right there and right there. That's hell on earth.
Yeah.
That's heaven on earth. I'm living in the middle of the belly of the beast.
Yeah.
And I am standing sovereign. And I have been since day one of this.
Hmm.
Anyone can do this.
Yeah.
But you have to learn how. There's a strategy.
Yep.
And only because of our previous conditioning.
Yep.
And you're good, right. It's an emotional roller coaster, but it's your emotions are your superpowers.
And I don't know about people watching right now, but for me, I was a prolific people pleaser for more than 3 decades of my life. A prolific people pleaser, because I carried with me the conditioning of my childhood abuse and trauma, and that I learned very early on, if I appease the abuser, maybe the abuse would be less. Well, I'm no longer, I'm a big man, 6'3", 240, and yet I was still having that childhood tape play over and over and over and over and over again. And then I would be in self beat up for so long. I'm like, why am I doing this? Or then I'd read Tony Robbins, or I'd listen to Eric Thomas about grinding it out and you got to be tougher. So then I was like, maybe I should be tougher. Maybe I should be stronger. But that didn't solve or heal or satiate or remove that ring. And until I went through a process, and Aaron went through a process, and the process is what we're teaching in our class on the 27th. It's one thing to cognitively be aware of not being free. It's another thing to do the work and free yourself. And that's what I'm excited about this class on the 27th. Everyone,
I get so excited for people.
Dude,
it's such a beautiful thing when you see someone unlock and go, wow, I can do that too.
Yes.
I really can.
Yes.
And I'm not alone.
That's right. That's right. Man,
because you lead by example, and you give other people permission to do the same.
That's right.
And wait till you get that feeling. I mean, when it happens to me out at the park, that's somebody, right. Again, just the mask thing, because it's so present and now that's what we're dealing with. But when somebody takes it off and takes that mask off their child right in front of me, just because I'm not wearing one. All right. And then you see they light up.
Yeah.
Well, why was I doing this?
Right.
Why was I doing this?
Right.
Now there's certain, if you still believe in it, you wear it in certain places. But guys, we're outside, we're having a conversation at the park, we're distance. Why are you still wearing the thing? That they come to that conclusion on their own, just because I'm sitting there we're just having a conversation as if the thing didn't exist on their face.
Yeah.
And then they just go, take this off, and then take that off, honey, and take it off their child, and we're still just having a conversation. But you could see their posture changes. They're back, they're standing, and they feel their own power now.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's such a beautiful thing to witness and to share with people.
See, I'm so glad you said the word power, because there's a difference between power and authority. So when we don't reclaim our own power, we lose our own authority. And authority is akin to sovereignty. For instance, a small statured, let's just say, like, there's big police officers and big men. You can say like, oh, that's a very powerful man. But there's also smaller statured police officers, be they male or female. But you don't look at them being any less of an authority because of their personal power, because they come on behalf of a power that is greater than them. So that's where their authority is derived from. The same thing can be for us as individuals. We have our own personal power, our own inner work to do, our own healing to do, but our authority as a being is derived from our own ability to walk in our sovereignty. So the authority is our sovereignty. The power is the exercise thereof. And when we can align our power and authority when we can make them aligned and walk in alignment, and there's nothing that we will need to run from or run towards, we are then free.
It's such a beautiful thing.
Hmm.
It feels so good. And you know, again, with the 2020 thing, we could have seen it as a blessing or a curse.
Yep.
When I chose to see it as a blessing, because you can choose. And again, I was a massive people pleaser, just like you. And that's who they prey upon. The big heart who goes, even if you feel okay, do it for others. That's how they tricked, you know, and you want to, you really, you want to help others. And when I realized like it's the opposite is true. Leading by example is how you help others to show. And fine, I'll take the risk for a year and show that we didn't need to do any of this. And now here we are a year later.
Yep.
You can argue with it all you want, but you're beating a dead horse. It's proven.
Yep.
There's people out there talking about it. It's just like any other flu season. Stay home, rest up, to have vitamins, fine. Yep. But this is bigger than just a mask and a virus and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
It's we have bent over for others outside of ourselves our whole life, trying to make everyone else happy, thinking, well, once everybody else is happy, then I can work on myself.
Right.
But what do they tell you on an airplane? If we're going down and the oxygen masks pop down,
that's right.
Put your own mask on first.
That's right.
Because you fill up your own oxygen tank so then you can help others on the plane.
That's right.
If you are strong and you're savvy and you're a doctor or whatever you are and you can help everybody on the plane, you're running out of time if you don't have your oxygen. So you might get 3 minutes to help some people.
Right.
But then you're worthless to everyone.
Right.
That's because you ran out of oxygen. Put your own oxygen mask on first, then you can help the whole plane. And until we figure that out, what that means to you, you are serving no one.
That's really good. That's really good. I love that. I love it. I am
who's Shooby Dooby Boy? We don't know who that is because it's a name is not coming up.
No, it looks like some shade. It looks like
it does it too.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, we invite all. At least you're speaking your truth.
No, that's right.
You know,
dude, I just realized we can play a video. We can broadcast. We can do some cool stuff on Haps. As I'm looking here, I'm excited for the next live that we do to really step up the broadcast level of this live.
Yeah, a little production value.
That's right. That's right. In fact, like,
can you imagine tomorrow? There's like lasers coming in, dancing cats in the background.
Like, why don't you go ahead, Doc? I'm gonna go upper 30er, and man, it's so great. It's so great. No, but I love that the people pleasing. Getting back to what you're saying, and bending over is it's no. I'm not making light of this at all. God is allowing humanity to wake up. And when they run news stories saying that people are getting anal swabbed in China, that is not for you to think, well, I guess I'm going to have to go to China and get anal swabbed. That is for you to wake up and be like, how much more can they bend you over and take your sovereignty from you until you say no more? That's all this is serving, is the great awakening of humanity, for us to say no more. But it's not enough just to say no more. It's also equivalent to us having to say yes to. It's not enough to be against something. We have to be for something. And actually, the experience of what we're for must be greater than the argument of what we're against. But they're going to keep bending people over, perhaps even worse, until people be like, what the heck? And
that's what's happening. That's why every day a new group of people wakes up. Like once the light turns on, it doesn't go off. But that's why, and it was a blessing and a curse to start this journey 15 years ago, and especially see through things the past few years before this all happened.
Yeah.
However, the curse part of it is it's like, to watch all these people suffer and go through it, because it gets more and more and more ridiculous, because it has to. Right. Oh, if you accepted this, we got to push harder. If you accepted this, We got to get crazier. Now we're up to like 5 masks, a bend over anal swab, can't
Yeah.
do this, a
Yeah.
passport to travel or go into a store.
Right.
Like, if I told you this was going to happen 5 years ago, you'd punch me in the face and go, I'll never wear a mask on the beach because the government said so.
That's
No,
right.
it's never going to happen like that. It's slow and steady, slow and steady. And because they keep the news cycle so busy, busy, right? I mean, the Pentagon disclosed that we have craft from other universe, like that are not of Earth. And then the next day they said there's Gorilla Glue in this girl's hair. And everybody goes, guys, they just dropped the biggest bomb in the entire world of our existence.
Right.
And everybody just ignored it. Like, oh, okay, the Pentagon just admitted that we have alien aircraft, but
Right.
look over here. And that's just one example of what they do with the news cycle. So but if you shut the TV off for like a day and just take a breath and look at your life in the past 2 years.
Right.
Look at the patterns and then you'll realize that you're sitting under your kitchen table with like a mask on, hiding from the air and the sun.
Yeah.
And you're going to go, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
But you have to really step back and look at the big picture. And it's not easy to admit that you might have been wrong. It was very hard for me. Our ego gets involved and it fights for dear life.
Unless we reclaim our sovereignty, my question for everyone watching is, when do you think you will? Like, if not now, when? It's not going to become easier. It's only going to get harder to do so. And those who are awakening now and reclaiming your sovereignty, you will be able to withstand because you see what's coming versus constantly getting pushed down this current that you didn't choose for yourself. And it's not going to become easier. Yeah. And there is going to come a point where, sadly, history repeats itself always, because those that don't study it are doomed to repeat it over and over and over and over again. But it was no secret what Hitler was going to do. He wrote a book about it. There's nothing ever comes in secret because it has to be disclosed because of the karmic law. People have to say, even in the dark side of this existence, they have to disclose what they are doing. They just hide it in plain sight so that it's not obvious, but those that are awake can see it. And what I would say to anyone watching, again, is if not now, if you're not going to awaken now, if you're not going to stand out of the current now, if you're not going to practice going into a grocery store without a cloth or whatever over your mouth because someone told you to, if you can't practice now, brother and sister, when do you think you'll be able to stand up for yourself?
Right. It's not going to happen. You have to do it.
Yes.
And you don't even have to start at the grocery store. Just start outside while you're walking down the sidewalk alone or in your car alone. Start small, and then you start to realize, because what you notice is they've created a habit. I was having a conversation with somebody in a studio. They brought me in. Me and Tyler went in. Don't wear a mask. They had one on because that's what they do all day. Yep. Then we get in, and theirs comes off. We have a beautiful conversation. And as we were about to leave, we're still in the same position. As we're about to get up and leave, he just starts putting his mask on in this. And I'm like, you see how, not to judge. I'm just pointing out that it's becoming a habit.
Yeah.
Like, you're getting ready to walk out the door. Nobody told you to put it on. Nobody. And he's just like, oh my God, I didn't even yeah, take it off. Mm-hmm. And not for me, just be aware of how our mechanics work.
Yeah.
And how they were able to condition us to just go blindly go, oh, put it on because I'm going. Like, put it in your pocket for now.
Right.
And if a police officer comes up and says put it on and you don't want the fight, throw it on. But that will cut your wearing like 95%.
Yeah. Yeah.
And do what makes you comfortable. Like, if you're not ready yet, if it makes you uncomfortable, do what you got to do. But just start thinking and just pull back and look at your life thus far.
Right.
You brought something up, and real quick, I know we got to wrap this up. But we're watching Allen versus Farrow right now on HBO.
Mm.
And
what's that about?
Man, it's about Woody Allen.
God.
But like you start to see, because you can look and see Mia Farrow, how genuine her heart is, and then how Woody kind of has the the power of the media behind him and all this kind of stuff, and lying, saying she's the unfit mother and all this kind of stuff. But when you hear the child talk about her experience and how if I would do something wrong, she said she would say something about she would call him Woody, and he would say, "Don't you dare call me that. You call me Daddy," and like I was just thought it was funny. Like he got all like stirred up, so I would say Woody, and then I really got it, and I started to realize if I don't want to get hurt, I have to just please him. I have to just people, and that's right. How the people pleaser is born.
Yes, that's exactly right.
And we suffer so others can just. We're giving our energy to takers. Not anymore. Just in general, what we were doing, we were giving because we're givers. We're givers. We want everyone around us to be happy. Yes. So we give. You need to stand down and say, who am I giving my energy to? Am I giving it to takers or am I giving it to other givers?
Yeah.
That's huge.
And it takes courage. And why this class that we're teaching on March 27th, and we're going to put more details on the Facebook page, and everyone sign up for this class. This is going to be an incredibly powerful class. But what is the number one ingredient to reclaim sovereignty, to stand in your power, to be an intentional giver from love, but not a scared giver in fear? It takes courage. That is the only difference between the hero and the coward. It's courage. It's courage. And so
again, whatever energy you put out comes back. So if you're giving out of fear, you will receive fear in return. If you're giving out of love, you will receive love in return. That is a basic law of the universe.
That's right.
That's not a man-made law. Yep. All this other nonsense is man-made law.
Yep.
So it's not law. It's an interpretation of maybe a law.
Yeah. That's
and
right.
we just follow it because we're told to? No. Right. No means no.
Whew, there's going to be so much stuff. I'm excited. I'm glad we're doing this course. So Aaron, you're going to put the info in the group.
Yeah, we're going to start putting together some stuff to get all the information gathered and
put it in the group. March 27th, Saturday. Calendars, 9 a.m. to noon Pacific time, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to noon Pacific Standard Time on March 27th. Block your calendar right now. Message Aaron or I. Sign up for this course. Invite your friends. 3 hours, an intensive course that Aaron and I are teaching live so that we can reclaim our sovereignty, walk in our power, and help and be, not just help, but support others to do the same in their life. So I'm excited about it. And brother, let's let it rip.
Let's do it.
Awesome, everyone. Have a great day. We'll all talk to you soon.
See you guys.